Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is, of course, your boy, Nolan Hawkeye Anthony here, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your week, wherever you may be, and, of course, wherever you may be listening. We got some great news today. Some great news indeed. Sorry about that. Some great news indeed. And I'm trying to keep this as smooth as possible and just kind of record this one time through. And the news, of course, is cornerback Riley Moss deciding to come back to the Iowa Hawkeyes. But before I react to that and let you guys know what I think it means for the Iowa Hawkeyes, I want to mention going to 247hawkeye.com. And I really do hope you guys consider subscribing, because subscribing makes you feel good. And, regardless, I've said this many times, you're hearing this from a true Iowa fan. The stuff from the Iowa media, they're not true Iowa fans like you and I are. And, you subscribing helps me out. It helps you out because you get content. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only person who does this. And so it is a 360 win, as they say. But at the very least, like, comment, you know the drill. And without further ado, let's get into this. Guys, this is excellent news. Excellent news indeed. I was shocked. Okay, that's the first thing I want to say, is that I was shocked. In the video I did, hypothesizing who would leave and who would stay, I was about 50-50 on Riley Moss. Okay, I wasn't even sure if he had the eligibility to come back. As I said in that video, it was pure speculation. It just kind of what I thought from the way outside looking in. And I thought he was going to go, because especially when he won Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year, I thought he was gone. And he decided to return. And so I was shocked. I was wrong. In the video I did, I was wrong. I will admit that. I've been wrong on multiple guys deciding to leave or come back, but it was just a fun video to do. So that is my first reaction. The other reaction is, to me, this is an example, and we've had many examples of this. In lieu, or in light of the Daily Iowan article, basically finger wagging at us Iowa fans, and some people out there self-righteously saying, I never say anything bad. Riley Moss is a perfect example of how much players love the University of Iowa. It's that simple. I mean, it is that simple. Is that the only reason he came back? No, it's not. Okay. I'm not saying that is the only reason he came back. But you don't come back to a school when there's a good chance you actually would get drafted, because I do think he would have been drafted. I think he would have been drafted anywhere from the 4th to even as high as the 3rd round, honestly, because I think Riley Moss would have tested very well. He's one of the most athletic guys on the Iowa Hawkeye team. I mean, he is blazing fast. In high school, the dude was a track star. Okay, star. But he loves the University of Iowa, and that is awesome to see. It is rare these days when you have the quarterback for Oklahoma deciding to put his name in the transfer portal when he was the starter. When you have that going on, guys sitting out of bowl games. And by the way, that's not me saying that I disagree with people sitting out of bowl games. I'm somewhere in the middle on that. But seeing all of that and then seeing a guy like Riley Moss decide to come back is just awesome. And, we've had Brandon Sheriff come back, and it worked out for him. Akram Wadley decided to come back, but, that story is kind of strange. I've talked with Akram Wadley's uncle, and it's just a strange story. I would say it worked out for Akram. He had an excellent year. He didn't get injured. I think he improved his draft stock. It just, he just didn't get drafted. And I don't think he was going to get drafted as high as some reports said after his junior season. So, I mean, it depends on who you ask if it worked out for Akram Wadley. I would say it did. For the most part. And now I would say the next biggest decision is Tyler Linderbaum. And there's been other guys who chose to come back to Iowa as well. I just can't really remember. But Riley Moss deciding to come back is up there. I mean, that's a big name who decided to come back. Now, and this actually gives me a little bit of hope regarding Tyler Linderbaum. Now, I don't want to start any rumors here, okay? But I do think it's a little bit more possible that he decides to come back now that Riley Moss did. One of these things where, they say to each other, let's finish it together. Let's finish strong, dog. Let's do this, boom, boom, boom. And, they win the Big Ten. And that leads me to the other thing. Guys, Iowa is loaded. I'm going to read this article here from Hawkeye Insider. But before I do, I want to just briefly show you how loaded Iowa is going to be next year. I mean, guys, this just means so much. But look at this. Just really quickly. I'm going to talk about this really quickly, okay? And I did this in a different video, but literally almost the entire defensive line is going to be back. The only guy who is for sure gone is Zach Van Valkenburg. Okay. Literally minimum, there's going to be 6 of the top 8 guys on the defensive line coming back. On the offensive line, outside of Tyler Linderbaum and Kyler Schott, there's multiple guys with playing experience who will be back. A lot of guys who have played a good amount of snaps coming back. So Iowa is set on both the offense and the defensive line. They are set. And I said this in the other video, there is the defensive back group was looking just fine with the assumption that Riley Moss and Jack Kerner and let's see here, I'm blanking on his name, Matt Hankins would be gone. They were going to be just fine with Cooper DeJean, Xavier Wampa coming in. Jamari Harris and Terry Roberts have shown themselves to be solid DBs who are ready to man the outside corner spot for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So the defensive back group is yet again going to be one of Iowa's best groups. If Dane Belton decides to come back, oh my gosh, that would be crazy. This team is loaded, guys. And that's pretty much my biggest takeaway, which is, I keep hearing about the schedule, how tough the schedule is. Guys, Iowa might be a top 10 team going into next season. Definitely top 15. This team is loaded. They have a lot of guys coming back. So this is great news. I'm happy for Riley Moss. He seems like a really chill dude, really good dude. He is an awesome player. And for us Iowa fans, this is excellent news. And, we got to support him and continue to show our support. And either way, excellent news. This is awesome. Let's read this article real quick. Let's see what it says. In what might be one of the biggest early surprises of the offseason, reigning Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year, Riley Moss, announced on social media that he'll return to Iowa for a 5th season. This is what Riley Moss said. What a ride the 2021 season has been. Through the highs and the lows, I would never trade this team for anything. The memories we made will stick with me forever on and off the field. The season did not finish the way we wanted, but we did win 10 games. That's kind of, he messed up grammatically, and making it to the Big Ten championship was very special. I agree. I agreed on all accounts, Riley. Riley, dude, I'm in agreement. I have always dreamed of being a Hawkeye, and being able to live out this dream every day has been incredibly special for both me and my family. That's why, after talking with my family and doing a lot of self-reflection, I've decided to stay and continue being a Hawkeye for the 2022 season. I have more goals and that I would like to achieve, and this team has more goals to achieve as well. This has been the hardest decision I've ever had to make, and I am confident that I have made the right one. And I don't think there was a bad choice here. I think he has even more he can prove to the NFL. I do think he can improve his draft stock. And, he wants to compete for a team title. I mean, the other aspect to this is that these players should be asking themselves is, will I get better coaching in the NFL? Will I be able to continuously develop in the NFL? Now, you would assume the answer is yes, but honestly, Phil Parker is as good as it gets. And, if part of it is, looking at your position and saying to yourself, you know what? I want to continue to get better and have as long of an NFL career I can, as opposed to getting in to the NFL as soon as possible and burning out. Moss's season started with a bang, and he recorded 2 pick sixes against Indiana. He was the front runner for the Jim Thorpe Award, which goes to the nation's top DB. But in the third quarter against Penn State, Moss went down with a PCL injury, which caused him to miss the next 3.5 games. Through the adversity, Moss battled back and finished with 39 tackles, 9 pass breakups, and 4 interceptions. Moss became the 5th Hawkeye defensive back in the last decade to win the Big Ten DB of the Year, joining Micah Hyde, Desmond King, Josh Jackson, and Amani Hooker. This is, I'm not sure for who this is from. I think this is from Jack Kerner. Riley went from being a great athlete. He's a really good athlete who we could throw out there and play corner and make some plays, to now. He's really developed into kind of a football mind who we can sit down with outside the facility and talk about football, and he knows what I'm talking about, rather than, early on in his career, and he just knew, hey, cover this guy. So there you guys have it. I think this is awesome. Congrats to the guy. He has some cojones for making the decision he did. And I think it's going to end up very, very, very excellent for him, for Iowa, for us, the fans. It's going to be excellent all around. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to smash that subscribe button, because subscribing makes you feel good. And at the very least, like, comment, share. You know the drill. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow, and facts or feelings. Your feelings don't matter. Love y'all. Go Hawks. Bye.